Hiya, it's Bran, and I love Hallmark Valentine movies.
Hiya, I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark Valentine movies.
Hiya, I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Valentine movies, and this is
It's
the
Deck the Hallmark podcast, don't you know?
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
People from around the world.
Boy.
Hello.
Yes.
How are we? How are we?
Great.
New week, new us.
I would never say a bad word about Nebraska, unless this is all of Nebraska, then I might. Yes.
What?
I almost said a bad word about Nebraska
No.
to
How
start
dare
this.
You
but
love
would-
Nebraska.
Yeah, love
Always.
it. Love it.
Go Huskers.
Lot of mountains.
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
What does that
Nebraska.
Yes. Very, very good job.
I'm a spelling bee winner.
No.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
You won a spelling bee.
Yeah.
Really?
How old were you?
I was 6.
How many people competed?
It's just me.
Is this at Panda
Just
School?
It
you?
was just me.
Panda
You
School
were
with his
the
mom?
the only participant.
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
So you also lost. Then.
I guess, and if you're doing that, yeah. And I was also the judge. So
This is not real.
it was me and my.
Yeah,
I
knew
was
it. I knew it.
inspired by
I
the
knew
the spelling bee on the TV, and I thought I could do that.
inspired by the spelling bee on the TV.
P-O-O. Poo.
Disqualified.
Guys, we're talking about Welcome to Valentine. Is that the name of the movie? Yes.
is. Yes, it
Welcome
is.
to Valentine. You can have some
road
candy.
trip.
You can drink a smoothie. You can go on a date.
It's tough. Like, I don't even think Flo Rida pulls that note off in the song.
Yeah, right.
It just is. It's designed to be bad. We
Where
can't
were
even
you?
Go.
Where were you when you realized that Flo Rida
Is Florida?
spelled Florida? And
The
that
first time
he's
I
from
saw
Florida?
it written. When I heard Flo Rida, I was none the wiser. But as soon as I saw it written, I was like, oh, yeah, I see what's going
It
on.
wasn't until I've seen Flo Rida live before, everyone. I went to
Oh, yeah?
I went to
So I'm live,
Grad Bash at Universal Studios when I was a senior in high school.
Try and stop you.
Flo Rida was performing.
Yeah,
I was
I
about
would
to say
hope so.
playing, but he didn't play anything.
Did he do My House for
performing.
like 40 straight minutes?
And
Yeah.
he talked about his
Oh, he
name.
did?
And
He explained
how he's
it?
great.
That was when it clicked in for you. Wow.
Yeah.
As a spelling bee winner, that's
is
a little
special.
That was
suspect.
probably the loser in me that got that. Guys, what a big week we have here
Yep.
because Bramblefest tickets go on sale to the general public
Yeah.
GA.
on Friday. And
Right.
I
What's
got
GA?
General
admission?
availability.
Availability.
That's
I got
a
bad
technical
news.
term.
I
All
got
tickets are general admission.
the
so I
general
like-
public, you're going to have to go fast because we're already 70% sold out.
That's right. It's
crazy.
Sheesh Louise, the Bramble,
Should have gone to BrambleJamPlus.com.
BrambleJamPlus. I mean, you still can if that's what you want to do.
It would have actually
BrambleJamPlus.com.
saved you money to get a $10 subscription to BrambleJamPlus.com.
Don't tell the
and
people.
then use the
Tell the
$30
people,
$30 discount code.
Yeah, those
That would have. Yeah.
Yeah, those are all options. That's what you can do if you want to do it. But tickets go on sale on Friday, and we'll be sending out an email if you're not a mailing list subscriber. Good
on that.
Lord,
Yeah,
what
you're
a
missing out,
mailing
man.
list! we
What
have.
a mailing list.
I don't read
Who
a lot
runs
of
that mailing list?
Some guy.
Some guy,
Middle
man.
chair. It comes
It's
with
me.
the chair.
It's Trace. Yeah,
Yeah.
Trace runs that makes sense.
Guess I'll let her.
send it to Brian, and he always changes it.
Yeah, does he do some edits?
He does a lot of edits.
Few updates.
You told me a couple of screw ups she had, Brian. What were some of those that she tries to throw in there?
What she usually, the first thing, there's a banner that's like, click here for free Mosi. And I'm always like, maybe this time she did it right. And it's always a video of her like on a beach.
Yeah,
just
that happens. to
Screaming
best
at
of
the
us.
help.
That's right. Screaming at the help.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't say that, Brian.
Click here for Mosi. Is it the number 4? I would assume, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because
four.
it's
yeah,
four.
yeah.
She just
Absolutely.
four.
And
She's
we
a
are now
foreign
months
language.
into this, and I've still yet to see my Frankie Muniz photos in there.
Yeah.
That I have taken
Legal's still
from
looking.
afar.
Legal is still reviewing.
Without his permission.
Yeah, Legal's on that one.
From
We're
inside his house.
Yeah, we're gonna get him in there eventually.
You see, he did well on racings.
Yeah, I
He did
heard
well
that.
on racing.
He did well on racings. I was cheering him on.
You were.
Click
You watched
here
that
for
live?
Mosi.
So, anywho, I think it's going well. Thank
Yeah.
you for asking.
So join that newsletter.
No one asked.
No one asked.
And no one gave you
but
credit.
the newsletter's great.
It is great.
And
Brian,
it's
you're
done
doing a
by
great
Brian.
job. You're
That's
doing a
right.
great
And
job.
he's crushing it.
Speaking of people, Rig, how's sabbatical? You got another week?
Sabbatical's treating me right.
You got another week of
It's
sabbatical?
a radical sabbatical.
A what?
A radical sabbatical.
What makes it radical?
It's everyone at the resort is some sort of radical.
Oh, that sounds like a rig kind of.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. There's
right.
some crazy people here. The guy's trying to sell me a Vitamix blender like 6 times. Like he's not even getting paid anymore.
Well, that's
he's just
not bad.
he's going door to door and he's doing the whole thing where he's like
He's going door to door at the resort.
at the way. Yeah, he knocks on your door. He's like, I'm gonna put this hubcap in this blender. Look at this.
And it works.
Yeah, yeah.
puts a hubcap? What?
Yeah. The blender is 2 horsepower, Brian. It's
The
2.
blender is
It's 2 horsepower.
2 horsepower?
That's right. It's more than you would ever humanly need in a Vitamix.
So you can put a hubcap in the
and it
Vitamix?
just cracks it right up. I've sold a few George Foremans myself.
4 for 2s?
4 for 2.
And that's
And when you see it in person, it all makes sense.
right. I've yet to see it in
There's a
person.
clamshell involved, I can tell you that.
Absolutely. I look forward to you being back in the studio, but I do
me
miss
too.
you.
I
do
know.
miss you. And the 50s isn't the same. It's falling apart.
Yeah. Well, it should be. Yeah, I could typically get there March 1 and we start cleaning that bad boy.
March 1, yeah. For March Madness, which
March
has
Madness.
nothing to do with basketball. We'll get to that in
we'll
March.
get to it later.
Guys,
Get your beanbags ready.
yeah, get your beanbags ready. And I hope that you watch this movie and our show on Philo. You can
Yeah.
watch that every single week. The new movies, The Way Home. A ton of the movies that we've been talking about on Mondays are also on there. All the reasons that you need to get Philo. I don't know what more you need because I've given you a lot. Philo.tv/DTH. Watch the movies, watch this show, and so much more today. Guys, are you ready to talk about Welcome to Valentine?
Valentine.
You can have some candy hearts. Wanna get a chocolate? Then you can maybe kiss. Welcome to Valentine. Premiered after Valentine's Day was already over on
That's how you know Hallmark's confident
on
in the film.
Yep.
on
Anytime.
February 18th, 2022. 3. Man, I'm still in 2022.
Yeah.
2023, and it went a little something like this. The movie gets started with what I can assume is B-roll from a prescription commercial. What was that? Cut to present day, and we see Olivia, an artist who is having a tough time. She's a struggling artist, and I think we all are
Absolutely.
in our own way.
Yeah.
She also works at a catering company with her bestie, Tess, who drops a bombshell. She got an acting job, and she's going to be moving to Chi-Town. So Olivia needs to move out of the apartment that she's been crashing at. They're at a catering gig that night for an art gallery, and there's a hotshot art woman there that Olivia wants to impress. There's also Tess's hunky cousin from LA who is there for some reason. His name is George. And he's a fancy boy. I think that we would all agree he's a fancy boy.
He's a fancy boy, yeah.
But also is picking up his dad's car and taking it across the country.
Big Red.
Big Red.
Big Red.
You guys like Big Red bubblegum? You guys like Big
Ooh,
Red
yeah,
gum?
cinnamon.
Chewing gum. Yeah,
Chewing gum?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You try
Did
to
you
blow a
just
bi- you-
correct-
no, you just try to blow a bubble with Big Red gum.
Can
and
you
see
just
what
for
happens.
one second control yourself from
My kids
correcting
are, my-
everybody?
My kids are in a gum phase right now.
I'm just saying,
There's a
would it
big
kill
difference
you?
between the two.
Would it kill you
It's
to
not
just?
bubble gum.
I understand. I said it. Just don't correct.
I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. There wasn't a Big Red bubble gum. Could be.
Lord, you're insufferable.
You mean cinnamon gum, right? So,
Yeah, cinnamon.
Yeah,
Big-
he
Big
said
Red.
cinnamon gum. You didn't do anything with him.
What?
He was like cinnamon gum. The cinnamon gum.
Yeah, but it's called Big Red.
GBR. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.
Go Big
That's
Red.
the Nebraska thing.
You wouldn't know that if you
yeah.
watched this movie. That's right. Sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
So that's all happening, and so they're at the party, and Olivia accidentally spills mushroom soup all over this hotshot art woman because George is all up in her business. So doesn't get to show the hotshot art woman all of her art. to hot shot about. So Olivia is really down and just wants to go home to Valentine, Nebraska for Valentine's Day. If you haven't spent time in Valentine, Nebraska on Valentine's Day, you haven't lived.
That's right.
I haven't lived.
Yeah.
So since George owes her big time, he agrees to give her a ride. Tess is going to tag along too since she's going to Chicago, and everyone knows New York to Chicago to Nebraska to L.A. is a straight shot.
Straight shot.
George is a no food or drink in the car type of guy, so basically the worst possible person to road trip with. They're going, they get to Chicago, no problem. They're on their way to Valentine, and he lets her eat a red vine in his car, so he's in love. They make it to Valentine, and they accidentally touch hands. I mean, get a room already. He goes to leave and to go to California, and the car won't start. So they go to jump it, as you do, and I believe, is he the mechanic? Accidentally switches, he does the wrong... It's red to black,
Yeah.
not a friend of Jack. It's the coral snake situation. And the car starts sparking and smoking.
It starts smarking everywhere.
It's a smark situation.
Smarking and spoken, and you never know what's going to happen.
So he gets very upset, and later goes they meet at the diner with the milkshakes. These milkshakes, Dan.
Yeah, I've heard some things.
I went there.
Did you really?
And the first thing that I noticed was that in this person's yard was every boy in town.
All of them?
Every single boy that was
Why
in
were they all there?
Because they wanted a milkshake.
The milkshake
Brought them all to the yard.
All the boys?
Are you sure about this?
Yes, darn right I am.
Was she able to teach others?
Well, I did ask about that because I'm like, well, I would like some boys to come to my yard. What if I learn how to make these milkshakes?
What was the verdict?
She said she'd have to teach me. She'd have to charge. She'd have to charge in order to teach.
Charging?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Man.
Okay.
She wrote a song about that.
So he goes to the milkshake place, ends up apologizing for being a doofus, tries to make her sound really amazing with her art in front of some old high school friends. You know how you do. They start hanging out more, and you can tell they are digging each other. She turns on the Valentine's lights for town, and he's falling for it. He's like, wow, Valentine's lights? Yes, please. They go to a junkyard and have what I can only describe as the most sensual junkyard experience I think ever in the history of junkyards. He starts talking with her about how he's not sure if he wants to be the CEO of the family company, how he likes non-profit stuff, and she's like, great, you should do that.
Non-for-profit.
Non-for-profit. So he does. He decides to talk to his dad about this non-profit idea, and his dad's like, this is stupid. Other people
would give away money.
Other people can do that. We are not going to do that. We're not those type of people. So he's still working on the car, and there's this old lady who used to be in charge of the parade, and now she's not in charge of the parade. And she's like, hey, I know where you can get some old car parts. And he's like, great, show me. And so brings her to this old car that is a part of the parade, and she's basically like, have at it, kiddo. He's able to get the car started and then ask Olivia to be his Valentine, and then he's like, well, actually, I gotta go, bye. So he leaves, and later that day, they find out that the car that is supposed to pull one of the floats that's a part of the parade, it's not working. And Olivia's like, I know exactly what happened. So Miss Hackey hacked it, if you can believe it. But Olivia doesn't freak out on her, doesn't yell at her. She plays it cool and makes Miss Hackett feel needed. How that helps with the car remains to be seen. George is on his way to California, pulls off the side of the road for a board meeting, and decides not to accept the CEO position. Then he races back to Valentine, and he brings Olivia a strawberry milkshake and says that he needs to spend Valentine's Day with his Valentine in Valentine. They kiss once. 1 year later, Olivia is a big painter, and her paintings are hanging all over galleries, and they're still together. And that, my friends, was Welcome to Valentine.
We
did
did it.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down and so much more.
So much more than breaking it down. We have 6, 7 other segments we're going to get to.
Oh, it's going to get wild,
get
everybody.
out of control.
The Laney's time is going to... Woo!
Zig,
Right back here.
Guy Zag. We've been working on that for a while.
Take the homework. When I zig, you zag.
Just like that. You got in there, Brian.
Yep.
Brian wasn't sure if he wanted to. Then he decided
Can't
to.
not. Like you
all right.
said, music I zag.
Yeah.
Just like that. Let's talk about this movie, Welcome to Valentine. We're going to break it down first before we get into any of the extracurriculars like Laney time and stuff. Brian, let's start with you. The once country-renowned Dairy Queen leader. Now he's just a nobody, but we still love him.
Just another customer.
Brian, what do you think about Welcome to Valentine?
Yeah, Welcome to Valentine. We all rated this pretty low in our preview.
Yeah, we
rating.
did.
Yeah, it was the lowest of the Valentine slew of flicks.
Really?
It was.
With the
yeah.
road trip involved.
Yeah, road trip involved. Everything, based in the town of Valentine, which I don't know if we knew at the time. That might have changed our ratings, but it ended up like not. I was hoping for more from this, and reading up a little bit before watching it.
I was saying that it didn't even meet the standard of lowest.
Yeah, I guess is what I'm saying. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I really hoped for, and I was rooting for it. The director is a Degrassi alum.
Degrassi.
That's right.
No one from Degrassi that's ever been on Degrassi's ever done anything bad. So we must be wrong.
That's right. That's where my head was at. So, so I was kind of not. I was kind of disappointed, a little bit disappointed by this one. I thought the actors were good in their own right. I just didn't. The big thing between them was I didn't believe that the leads were romantically interested in each other here. And I felt like the big thing, like thinking about it, was like their energies were so different, and they never came to like a
Some
place
sort of equilibrium.
Yeah, something like that. So he was super high energy. She was more mellow. They never balanced out. So it just didn't I didn't believe them, and that was a big miss for me there. And for a movie that was based on like a real place and real events, which there really is a Valentine in Nebraska, and they really do
go all out for Valentine.
Yeah, they lean into the the whole shtick. They used. Like, I'm not convinced they know a lot about, like, what actually happens in Valentine at this time. Like, they made up things that didn't make sense. Like the Haya, for example.
Yeah, for instance.
We found out that wasn't even and then there were things that would be really true to people who live in Nebraska and know about Nebraska that they didn't incorporate.
No.
Like, the Big Red.
Yeah.
I mean.
I know that Nebraska's football team is Go Big Red. Like, if you know one person from Nebraska and you follow them on any social media, you'll see GBR all caps.
Yeah, Go Big Red. So I didn't catch that, but I didn't know a lot about that. But learning it, I'm just like,
Yeah,
why?
It's pretty straightforward.
So it was just like a weird thing to be in Nebraska, but not really like use things about Nebraska. But the big thing about it, not a big thing, but something that
makes you appreciate that Kevin McGarry accent just a little bit.
Well, yes, like they're there. You feel like you're
one
there.
of them is. Everyone else doesn't do an accent.
Like, one of the things about this was that when you're doing a project and it's like, if you have no restrictions, it's like limitless. You can do anything. So sometimes you put, like, a teacher will put restrictions on a project, right, to make you like inspire creativity. Like, if you have an unlimited budget, you can do anything. It's not fair. So it's like, all right, make this movie with $1 million and have a 40 under 40 party, but like no lights or music, or go on a road trip, but no driving. And so they did all these like have a romance, but no bonding.
We've hamstrung you as much as we possibly could.
So all these things, they just put all these restrictions on, but I feel like they were just like misplaced a little bit. Like, maybe have a romance where the couples bond romantically a little bit.
What?
Maybe like
here.
have a cool road trip and like drive in the car.
For those of you who aren't hearing or listening closely, this is Brian absolutely taking a crap on this movie. And I need you to hear that.
Yes.
He hated it.
I wanted them to lean into the silly. Like, when they did that George chant in the diner.
Why were they chanting his name?
Exactly. And so that's what I found myself asking. I'm like, okay, I don't understand this, but I like it. I hope they do more of this stuff. Like the silly, like rev up the silly, if we're going to use a car analogy here. Yep, there it is. But they didn't. I'm like, there was not much more silly. They kept like going back down to Serious Town.
You know what? I've got some news for you, Brian.
Yeah.
I am going to go on a limb and say that somehow, against all odds, and probably any drugs that could be manufactured, Brandon Gray liked this movie.
Well, let's delay this no further. Let's find out. Brand?
I like this movie. I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know, man.
Guys, can you just shut it?
Oh, my
for
gosh.
just 1 second? I had a lot of fun in Valentine, Nebraska. I thought that the two did have chemistry. When they're going through the junkyard, oof.
Those
Took all
words.
his words.
So was I hoping for more of a road trip in this road trip movie? Sure, yeah, I was. But aside from that, thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and I would watch it again if it was on. We're not going to seek it out. I think what I'm finding about myself, everybody, is that I like holiday movies. It doesn't even have to just be Christmas. If we're leaning into a holiday, I enjoy it.
My 6-year-old is the same person.
The city turning on with Valentine's lights, the parade with snow and hearts, all of that working for me. So, yeah, was this movie a grand slam? No. Mark McGuire's retired. But I did have a good time, and I'm here for more. I just wish
Nebraska?
I just wish that in the month of February, we just did all Valentine movies, where it's just heavy on the Valentine. Why are we not doing that? Why is the Valentine movie airing after Valentine's Day? I don't know why. That's like saying, hey, we've got a crop of Christmas movies that are all going to air after Christmas Day. None before. I don't understand it. It's a weird thing to do, but I'm happy we got a Valentine's movie in Lovuary, and I wish they all were that. Dan.
I got to be honest. I heard nothing you said after Mark McGuire's retired. Maybe one of my favorite things you've ever said.
He's
what
retired.
that has to do with anything beyond me, but I loved every second of it.
There's been no Grand Slam since he's retired.
Yeah, I don't need to belabor the point because Brian was as hard as he could have been on the movie. This is a road trip movie without a road trip. It's a Nebraska movie without Nebraska. It's bad. It doesn't hold up under any scrutiny at all. It doesn't hold up to the in the background while I do laundry test. It is not. It is.
Agree to disagree.
It is not. Mark McGuire's already retired. I just want to be clear.
I can't say any more about it.
I can't tell you how bad this movie is in mere words. I can't. You have to go check it out. I thought it was going to be good. I think that's the problem is there are some movies that arrive and upon arrival that we know they're going to be bad, and so you settle in for bad. This movie starts off and you're like, he meets him in the art thing. They got to drive across country. They're oil and water. This is going to be a fun little and then instead we skip that movie and they just pop up in Chicago immediately. Yeah. And then they're in Nebraska. And then the rest of the movie is over an hour long. I think somewhere in between an hour and infinity, because we skipped it. We skipped the road trip fun, like, I don't want you to eat in my car. I'm more like free spirit movie. We skipped it. And we got bad instead. We got real bad. And so it starts off with promise, and I think that's what makes the nosedive into a faceplant so much worse, is because you felt like it was there, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. So yeah, definite candidate for worst of the year. I don't know if it's there, but it's a candidate. Yes, for sure.
I
heard of Brand's heartbreak.
The ranking episode is going to be wild. I'll go to bat for this movie, and I'll hit.
Get a wrestling mat in
I'll
here.
hit some
But
people.
remember, it's 2 versus 1 here, Brand.
I understand, but there's some things that I can do.
No, there isn't.
No, there's some
There's
things
you can pull
You
some
have
things.
Panda over there that just changes his mind
No,
every
no,
10
no.
seconds.
No, there's
It's a
thing-
new world with Brian. He's got opinions.
I do. This one is going to be a tough hill to slog.
Guys, I'm just saying I have things that I can do.
You gonna use your skip?
I'm gonna use my.
is that a threat?
I'm gonna use my add 5.
Your add 5. No.
I haven't used it.
Then I'm going to use my subtract 5.
No, you can't do it.
I gotta multiply time.
No.
Look at those bylaws again.
Oh, open up the rule book. If someone plays an add 5, you can't subtract an out. You can only subtract a 5 without a null.
Then I'll subtract it first, so you can't add it.
You don't know what I'm going to do, though.
told me.
I'll play my
You already
add.
told
I'll
me.
play my add 10.
Why are you telling him your playbook?
Guys, let's get to the feels. Let's talk about what this movie gave us feels. Brian, you heartless monster. Any feels for you?
Feels not. I had kind of funny feels, and that was kind of it. And I wish there were more scenes where I had like genuine feels for what was going on, but I just couldn't. The kid bringing up chicken nuggets was funny to me.
That kid was funny.
He only did it twice. I wish they did more of that.
Yeah.
But him bringing up the chicken nuggets made me laugh.
I love that kid.
The George chant, that was sort of a turning point where when they did it, I'm like, okay, if this is the direction
They're going to lean in here.
Yeah, and they just didn't. The only other thing was, and it's a little off topic, but did you guys hear in the news about the family in Greenville? The parents bought the first grade class Apple Watches for Valentine's Day. Did you hear about this?
Are you talking about Dan?
I did not, Brian. I did not hear about this.
It
was a Valentine, paper Valentine with a slap bracelet.
Not what I heard.
It looked like a smartwatch. It wasn't a smartwatch.
I just think if you take it to the tape,
Yeah.
what you said is slap watch, smartwatch.
I never said the phrase slap watch, smartwatch.
You said, I'm sorry, slap bracelet,
that look
smartwatch.
like smartwatches.
What you said was slap bracelet, smartwatch.
I did not
take it all the way to the tape.
All the way.
By the way, takethetape.com. We're right in the middle of Disaster Month. Well, actually, Disaster Month is just about to be done.
And you're not talking about this movie.
No. We're talking about real movies where we watch their commentary tracks so you can listen along to while you watch a movie. We just did Deep Impact. We're doing Twister this week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next month, it's Twilight Month. Dan and I will be doing audio commentary tracks to all 5 Twilights.
God, are we, though?
Because they took the last book, as you do.
How long is that book? 100 pages?
You make it 2.
They made it 2?
You make it 2.
All I remember, I don't know if this is even PG appropriate for the class. I just remember the preview for that one of those movies, and the bedpost cracks in half.
Yeah.
In the trailer, and I was like, I don't know, guys.
Well, they're strong.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
This is a Valentine Day movie, y'all. Mm-hmm. Is no one else excited about what I feel like I'm the only one who's excited that we got that. Her Valentine sweaters. She was wearing Valentine sweaters.
She had nice sweaters.
I refuse to believe that I'm the only one that is happy about this. No one else is excited about this. It's just me. I don't care about your hopes, Brian. They were there. The Valentine's feels were there. The Valentine's feels were there. You ignored them. You ignored it. You were in a grumpy mood and you ignored it. Watch this movie again. Fall in love with the Valentine's feels and you'll have a different experience, Brian. Add 5. Dan.
So
you just use your add 5?
No.
Okay,
I do love how most TV shows and movies, when they don't have a brand name of something, they'll use a brand name. They'll use a fake, just like a light beer, but they'll just turn it to where you can't read the logo. In this movie, they lean into licorice brand licorice. It's like, that's the brand. Licorice brand licorice. Here it is. We're going to give you a bunch of like free publicity. And I thought that was a choice. That was a choice that they made in the movie. And I was happy that they made it and just admitted what they were.
Why didn't they name it like they named the diner the bow and arrow?
That's right.
Whatever. They were like, why didn't they lean into a pun on the Twizzler?
Yeah.
So you call them what? Red ropes?
Red Vines?
No, Red Vines are the superior licorice.
Are they a brand?
Be clear. Yes.
They're the only licorice that I would eat.
Yeah, I would. Twizzlers, get out of here. Just pure wax. Red Vines are the only red licorice ropes, in my opinion. Like
you can rip them apart.
Yeah, easy rip, softer. It's
a vine.
Disagree.
All right, Aaron, get on the mic. Aaron, pull the mic. What do you got to say, Aaron?
I just don't like red vines.
But you don't? Do you like Twizzlers?
I love them. I could eat a.
Oh dear Lord!
But I mean, when Twizzlers has like
we didn't talk about this during her interview. Good Lord!
Note for the next one.
What is it? 90 days? We get 90 days.
It's a 90 day. It's a 90 day.
Use your take back.
I'd say we'll use our take back.
Why do you like the Twizzlers so much?
Yeah.
I just think they taste better.
What?
What do you mean they taste better?
I grew up with Twizzlers. I didn't know red vines existed until I was like in high school. And at that point,
You've had them.
I've had them.
And you still think Twizzlers taste better?
Yes.
It's unbelievable. You're getting a lot of
Well, guys,
support
we're
in the chat.
gonna do that.
There's a lot
Aaron
of
is
support in the
correct.
chat.
Wow, look at
Yes,
that.
Aaron is
no,
correct.
no.
Twizzlers
Yeah,
for
you guys are wrong.
life. Twizzlers rock. Yes, Aaron.
We are going to do a blind taste test here, where you.
I can tell you, like this is
Well, we have to do something to convince her that
We
she's
do.
wrong.
Can't do a blind taste test. Like they're
very
different.
easy to tell
I
apart.
understand. I'm just saying we need.
We got to do
why
something.
blind doesn't come to the equation. Like we just need to make sure we get her.
Mark McGuire's retired, Dan.
No more Grand Slams.
Dan, do you have any feels?
I already gave them. It
brand.
was the
All right, we're
licorice
gonna-
brand. Could you listen for once in your life?
We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back here.
Don't feel appreciated.
Shouldn't.
You're not. This is shocking.
Aaron
People
Shea,
like
Team
Twizzlers.
Twizzler. This is like
Do these people who don't compare, like just Twizzlers, are great, or in comparison to the vines? Like the
if
people
you know
aren't
if
giving.
red licorice isn't your thing, then whatever. But to say actively that you like Twizzlers, love Twizzlers, and red everything else is bad, that's a move there.
You know what I'm really into right now, Dan?
Red vines are the Crocs of licorice, said Lynn. How dare you? How dare you, Lynn Austin?
I don't even know what that means. I like Crocs. Dan,
that's what she's gonna
can I? You'll like this. There's a candy store at the mall,
Yeah.
and they have a canister devoted to blue sour belts.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll go to the mall just for that.
Blue raspberry sour punch straws. Bring it.
Forget about it. Not the straws. The belts, Dan. The belts. The belts.
Oh, the belt.
The belts.
Oh, the belt's good stuff.
I know.
Better than straws.
I know. We're back, everybody. We're talking about Welcome
we're
to
back?
Valentine, the best Valentine movie
Of
this
the year.
side
Correct.
of
Of
the
the year,
Mississippi.
yes.
as far as Valentine documentaries about Valentine, Nebraska.
Brian?
Yeah.
Wait, what? You got any?
yeah. The road trip and time, like the logistics in general, like there's a big bucket of things.
So much.
Yeah, they fall under
Brian.
this umbrella, and it was sort of infuriating. Usually I'll pause the movie, I'll figure
Do
out the
some
time.
research.
Yeah, I'll pull up Google Maps, which I did. I'll type in the destination. I'll figure out the timing. I'll look at the screen and be like, okay, it's dark. I have to assume it's this time. Blah blah. blah. I stopped doing it because
can't-
they
it
were
doesn't make
so
any sense.
far off, and so I just had to just get comfortable with the idea that they don't care, so I
They
can't.
don't- yeah.
I can't care. Like,
Well, the only one that got me, the rest of them were bad because it's like to get to Omaha with a stop in Chicago, it's like 20 hours minimum. Whatever. They did that, and
Yeah.
it's just you just have to assume they traveled overnight. Whatever.
Yep.
And the daylight time doesn't. But the idea that it's nighttime,
Yep.
and I'm going to pop in my car and get to L.A. by tomorrow,
Yeah.
is not a thing.
No.
It's like a 24-hour drive.
Yeah. Well, he said he was going to stop in Denver. So he was in Nebraska.
That's right.
And they got there like in the morning time.
Correct.
In Nebraska. And he
Yes.
said, I can't stay. I want to get to Denver by midnight or something I think he said.
And then he stays a night,
Yeah.
and he still thinks he has to be in L.A. by the next day.
Yeah.
Because he said that. I have
Yes.
to be in L.A. in 2 days.
Yeah.
Then he stays a night. You're not getting to
No.
Los Angeles.
Not driving. No.
It's 24 hours with no traffic, no stops.
So, when they stopped at the gas station where the Twizzler thing, the Red Vine thing happened,
Looked
it was
cold.
nighttime. It would look cold.
Looked
It felt,
real cold.
Felt real cold.
Yeah.
They didn't even pull their collars up,
No.
Anyway, then from there they drove straight to Valentine because he said next stop Valentine. When they get in Valentine, they're in different clothes.
Good God. And they're in between. He says they're only an hour or a couple of hours
He said a
outside.
few hours away. They had to be about 4 to 5 hours away.
Yeah.
It was infuriating. Like,
Yeah.
why didn't they stay in Chicago? Like, stay overnight
Real
with their
bad.
friends. Like, just
Real bad.
everything about the drive time. It drove me
Well, they
crazy.
didn't commit to road trip at all.
Not at all. No, it was like just skip the whole thing. Like do that thing like an animation on the screen showing the car
Yeah.
going. Like just don't show anything. And every time, since they weren't going to drive in the car, every conversation had to take place out of the car.
Correct.
In the freezing cold.
Correct. Yeah, including a meeting, a very important
Yeah,
board,
board
meeting.
meeting,
Where he's
yep.
announced the CEO. He's not in the car for that one.
No, trucks driving by.
He is standing in the freezing cold on the side of the highway
can't
for
even-
his important CEO
Can't even
promotion.
sit in the car for the call.
Gee.
The way that they mixed up, like he mixed up the battery terminals was kind of annoying. Like I get they had to do something, but I almost would have rathered him the car still work, and him just like decide to stay for some reason. Like
this is like Exhibit A that this might be one of those horror movie town situations.
Yeah.
A mechanic switched red and black.
Yeah.
On the battery.
And they're all standing at the front of the car. Like somebody would have caught that.
Especially since that other dude, our lead, knows cars as well as he does.
He's going to check it.
There's no way he won't let you eat in the car, but he's going to let somebody else hook up the batteries.
Yeah, and he's not going to double check.
There's no world.
Yeah. So that was just purely, like, I knew they needed.
McGuire's retired.
He's retired, so no more Grand Slams. Let me see. Oh, this one was brutal. They get into the diner, and George, he gets down, he orders just 2 beers, please.
Yep, 2 beers. Classic, two beers.
And you know
Panda?
When they got, that's right, shout out.
Rip.
When they got the beers, they were 2 different beers.
Oh, I didn't see that.
His label was like a dark label, and it said lager, and Ron's was a white label, and I'm pretty sure it said lager too.
Yeah,
but
couple of lagers.
Just a couple of lager.
Just whatever lagers you got in the back there.
So I just
2 of those would be
It's
great.
a mix and match deal.
Yeah.
And just the line, this better not be a Valentine's Day prank.
There it is. Bran, at the end of this movie, there is an old man who has a box on his desk, and he goes, this better not be some Valentine's prank.
He hates cylindrical
I was
mail.
dying laughing
It
at
was
the
so
idea.
great.
How many has this guy seen before?
What is happening
He's
to
been
him?
through some stuff.
The poor guy.
If his first thought when he
better
hits the
not.
thing on his desk,
Not again.
is this better not be another Valentine's
Fool
prank?
me once.
That's right.
And he yells to his secretary, like, what is
too
this?
old for this crap.
This is why I'm retiring.
Another year. If you do this again, Daryl, this better not be. If I open this and it's a Valentine's prank, I'm going to be PO'd. A Valentine's prank?
A Valentine's Day
What's
prank
he talking
in
about?
the mail.
While we're talking about this guy, what is he?
What is he indeed?
When we first meet him, he's on the phone, but he's like looking off into space. Like, it's the weirdest.
Dude, he's paranoid about pranks.
choice. Yeah,
He's always just like,
what's that? Is that someone in the ceiling?
Sheila, who's out there?
This better not be a Valentine's prank. Somebody went to the trouble of sending this guy late at night something to be like, I don't love you. He has extensive like.
It is shaped like dynamite.
Yeah.
He's listening for the tick. Like,
You've been Valentine. That is an all-timer. This better not be some sort of Valentine's prank. Classic. It's the kids these days.
Just
they
always
send
pranking.
Old CEOs. Valentine's pranks.
So,
Something going on up there.
it's good stuff.
Man.
You done?
Yeah.
All right. You know what? If I get a job, if I'm an actor, and I finally get a gig that's going to take me to Chicago, you know what I'm not going to do that night? Go to work.
Yeah.
No way.
At my catering job.
No world.
I'm deucing out.
See you. Deucing out early.
I'm deucing out early. I ain't going to go to my catering job that night.
Get it.
It's not worth the hassle.
No.
It's not worth it.
She
finally got it. She finally got an acting gig. It's going to
person of
move her
integrity.
to Chicago.
And she was doing a lot of eating there.
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe
true.
she was
Maybe
like,
it
I'm
was
not
like,
doing a thing.
Yeah, I'm not doing a thing. I'm just going to munch. This is just like, I don't know. Like, they talk about how Tess and George talk about how they always see each other at like their cousins' weddings. Do people go to distant cousins' weddings?
Yeah, not me.
No,
Do you?
absolutely not.
Do you?
I'll take that back. I've been to at least one of my cousin's weddings before.
But probably close cousin.
Yeah, first cousin. Right?
They literally say, "I'll see you at our next distant cousin's
that's a
wedding."
lot. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially with
That's
that far
talking
away.
like 2 or 3 deep.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for those.
So there's let's talk about Haya real quick. There's a conversation about what Haya is.
Yeah.
And he asks if it's a combination of high and you. And they say no.
No.
It's high with a little extra love.
Which made it worse.
To which I just say no, it is not. No. It is absolutely high with you. That's high you. That's Haya.
Yeah, Haya.
Hi you. That's Haya, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, you.
Yeah, hey you.
Yeah.
It's not high with a little extra love. That's factually inaccurate. It is high you. It is. It just is.
It is.
You can't just say
you
it's
can't
not.
just say we sprinkle in extra love.
That's
here
not where. That's not how it happened.
No.
That's like saying y'all isn't you all. It's you with a little extra love.
That's right.
It's just not.
That's not.
It's you
That's
all. It's
factually
high you.
incorrect. Yes.
And last but not least, is anyone watching this parade?
No. No one is
I
watching.
think that the entire town
No
is
one's watching
in the
Yeah.
parade.
Yeah.
Yes.
We see everyone walking with the parade.
Yeah.
We see float. We see lots of people walking. There's nary a soul on the side of the street
Yeah.
watching this parade.
Somewhere-
It's an all-play parade situation.
It's an all-play
All-play
parade.
parade, yeah.
I saw all-play parade live. They were fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Somewhere between
APP.
in Rocky Mountain Christmas where the streets are lined and it's one fire truck and a horse.
Right.
And then in this movie where there's no one on the streets and the parade is very long is an actual
Right.
parade.
Yes.
Like somewhere between those two
Yeah.
is a real parade.
Yeah. Dano?
Um,
Danny boy?
Early on in this movie, her entire thing about going home is she can't get there. It's too late.
Yeah.
Because 5 days out from Valentine's, and I want to quote this, everything is sold out.
Yeah.
Like planes, like all
Yep. Trains.
every plane from Manhattan to Omaha
Mom.
is sold out. Was there a rush? Was there a promo code I didn't know about? There aren't enough planes going to Nebraska in New York City 5 days out from a made-up holiday? What?
If this
Have you
coincides
checked the internet?
with Berkshire's annual meeting, then I would believe it. But
She-
I don't know about.
She says it multiple times, almost a week out from Valentine's Day. Everything is sold out. She just can't get transportation.
It's a Valentine's prank.
Can't do it. It's one of these
yeah,
Valentine's
one of those.
pranks.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Listen, I want to be clear. Any no food or drink rule in the car on a road trip is bad. I want to be very clear.
The worst.
It's the worst.
wouldn't
You're the
go.
worst person.
Yes.
That's not a road trip.
Yeah.
That's you're being taken, you're being held hostage. However, if you have that rule and enforce it for 17 straight hours,
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine being like, you can eat with 2-3 hours left in your trip. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine someone who's willing to say, there's no food or drink here, and they hold fast to it for almost a full day of driving, only to be like, we're 2 hours out, eat the licorice. Just eat the licorice, whatever, just eat it.
No crumbs. No problem.
I like that is maybe the biggest wait what of the movie for me aside from the Valentine's Day prank, because that guy would never relent to that.
Yeah.
If you have held fast to no eating or drinking in the car
Yeah.
for a day, you're not giving in with 2 hours left. You're seeing that on out. You just are. At one point in this movie, our lead says, I've never made an independent decision for myself.
I heard him say that, yes.
Ever? You've never like chosen what you want to eat or what you want to wear? Like he doesn't say in his career. He just says, I've never made an independent decision for myself. In your life? Like
never-
not a one?
You've never gone to the bathroom?
You have a problem, sir. A big problem that she cannot fix.
I don't even put on my own PJs.
The planes are sold out. That's all I know. This junkyard is pristine. It is. There are rows of, I believe, VW vans, all parked in a diagonal. Like I don't know if you've ever been to junkyards.
They're usually upside down.
There are car kind of things that are everywhere in a pile. This is diagonally parked VW vans with no body work needed. Like I would go so far as to say it's not a junkyard. It is a garage.
They had a junkyard dog though, so it
They
has
did.
To be
It's a garage, is what this is. It's not a junkyard. He's never made an independent decision in his life. And at the very end of this movie, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for my what the
He's
Hallmark.
saving it, everyone. He's
Save it.
saving
Using
it.
his save.
Save it.
He's using his save. Well, we don't have to wait much longer, everybody, because it is time for the What the Hallmark. It's a part of the show we wonder what could have been. Maybe I can give some clear questions we still have. Let's go to Brian. Brian, what are you wondering about in this movie that you'd like an answer to?
Yeah, I was left wondering, just like a big meta question, like why did they ignore real Nebraska stuff and make up fake Nebraska stuff instead.
That's a huge one, Bri.
Thanks.
That's a huge one. It is. Like, that's a legitimate, like, you're in Nebraska. Why not make it? It was like when we watched that Mark Blucas Autumn Reeser barbecue movie.
Right.
And they're in Texas. And it's like, why not try to be Texas at least a little bit?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
thanks.
Would have been nice.
Yeah, would have been nice.
I came away with fake information and no real
That's
information.
right. I thought Ohio was a Nebraska thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I legitimately thought that.
Embarrassing.
Let's talk about this potential Valentine's Day prank.
Was that yours?
So no,
Snow?
but what is inside is my thing. So somehow, in between getting to Valentine, Nebraska, and whatever day it is,
Yeah,
it's
a foreign concept. Time.
she painted
Big Red.
Big Red,
Rolled it up.
and overnighted that boy.
There's no world. There's no world.
A couple of bucks to get that done.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. That is because how much time? This is a time thing, but like how much time from when they get to Nebraska? How long?
It's just not.
To paint that, mail it,
It's a lot.
get it
She would
there.
have had to get out of the car and go right to a studio.
I was baffled by it,
Yeah.
and then that's it with
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
with it.
He never sees it.
I don't even think he's like changed by it. He sees it and he's like, all right, well,
Is this a prank?
Thank you.
is there more? And that's it. He's not CEO. He deuced out early. He gets a painting of the car that I don't know if he's ever going to see it again because right now it's in Valentine, Nebraska. And that guy's just like, well, that guy's the loser of this movie. His son, who was supposed to be next in line to run his company, deuced out early. He doesn't get his car, and he's left with some sort of painting.
Correct.
That guy, that poor guy. This is
Yeah.
why he's so
That's where he's
skeptical of
about the
Valentine pranks. Everything's
Turns
going
out it was
wrong.
a
in
prank.
his- Everything's going wrong in his
Your
life.
car.
I was blown away by that.
What
by,
if I-
by the whole thing. Dan?
What if you wanted, like, I was going to pick up lunch, and I said I'd pick you up a cheesesteak, and I painted you a picture of a cheesesteak and just put it in the mailbox. It never came back.
Check the mail. Check the mail.
Got him. Cheesesteak prank up top.
Yeah.
Somehow I get the painting by lunch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So at the very end of this movie, along with a host of other, wait a minute, that's the end of it that
Yes.
you have brought up about him staying. They don't do the painting. They never gets to like the alternator in the car. He steals the alternator. Nobody ever goes and like he never tells anyone. At the very end of this movie, they're showing, a year later, they're showing all of her artwork in a very nice studio in Manhattan. And the woman just says, this is one of our very famous up-and-coming artists. She works out of Tribeca, Los Angeles, and Valentine, Nebraska. Are we to believe that she is so famous that she now has a place of residence in New York, L.A., and Nebraska within a year?
That's what they make it sound like.
Yeah.
What?
Dude,
Like,
once you make it
she-
big as an artist,
Well,
She
she
went
can
from-
whip out those boys in 20 minutes.
Like,
She's like painting stuff
she
left and
went
right.
from no one's
Ha,
heard
you
of
get
me
it. You get it.
To I have real estate.
Everywhere.
or she just had like
They
paints
ma-
in a studio there.
I will say
She-
the
so
way
she
that they
doesn't have that
worded
money and
it,
she's moving to 3 different places, 2 of which are the most expensive cities in the country.
they made it sound though that she doesn't live there, that she's just popular there, which is weird.
No, she said, they say specifically she works out of
Works out of.
those 3 cities.
Yeah.
So she's splitting her time 3, instead of just saying
Why?
the couple moved to LA or Manhattan, or to give us
Yeah.
any answer, or to not
Yeah.
give us anything.
No,
they
nothing.
have told you that this woman kept her dream, works in all the big places, also fell in love, and that changed nothing. They're all like working. Basically, she goes to LA to see her boyfriend.
Yep.
Works in New York and goes home to see her family and lives in all 3. That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
The more we talk about it, the more I realize how many open-ended things are left.
It's a bad movie, Brandon.
Nothing is like
on this rankings
settled.
episode. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I'm not trying to say it's not a bad movie.
Okay. All right.
I
just had a good time.
You had a
It's
good
a
time.
Valentine movie.
It's a holiday.
It's a
movie.
holiday movie.
Yeah.
So, as if. Guys, let's.
fetch.
We did it, everybody. Congratulations. Another
Certainly
movie
did.
down. One more February movie.
That's it.
And then we're
Yeah.
into March. Can you believe that?
That's
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that? March is
I've heard some things, and
Banger
I'm trying
after
to.
banger after banger.
It's hard to avoid the hubbubaloo.
The hubbubaloo. That's
Hubbubaloo,
exactly
that's
right.
hard to avoid.
Speaking of hubbubaloo, Panda is back. Panda, come on in. We're going to kick it to the Double Decker of the Week music right now. Double Decker of the Week. Oh, man. God, what a day it's been. Another week, another Double Decker of the Week. Somebody has signed up for BrainwellGenPlus.com with the Double Decker Plus or higher tier and said, you know what? I want my story told. I want it told right now. And now is that time. Panda, you did the deep dive on
Deanna Dickinson.
Deanna
Deanna.
Dickinson.
Deanna Dickinson.
Oh my goodness, Deanna! Can I tell you this?
Tell me.
Top shelf,
Right.
top notch,
Good.
Top of the line?
top of the line, top chef. I would say that.
She's a top chef.
No, she's not. But
Okay.
if she was a chef, she'd be the top. of it.
Okay.
Great.
Started a new TV show, being picked up on across all of them.
She has a TV show that's
Being picked up across all of them.
All of them.
ABC,
They all want it.
CBS,
All of them.
NBC.
Multiple syndicates all at once.
This is like when the president does a speech.
It's a big
It's
deal.
on everything.
Yeah. It's phenomenal, groundbreaking. What she is
What
doing.
could this show possibly be?
It's called Law and Order, Criminal Intent.
Okay.
It's Law and Order,
Right.
Yeah.
but there's an otter.
One otter?
Oh,
or
yeah.
are they all otters?
No.
Why is it criminal intent? Why was Law and Order not enough?
No, because it's the crime division.
Okay. All right. Fair. It could have been SVU.
Bum.
In the criminal justice system, otters take advantage of their legal status as aquatic animals. In New York City, the crimes are heinous. They're unthinkable. And they're all otter.
Hey, boys, what's going on in today's water? All right, I'm gonna need you to tone it down just a little bit. I need you guys to get your ears to the water and let me know what's going on down there.
I think these two guys are seals. What was that at the end? What doesn't
I do not know.
I don't think otters clap.
what does an otter sound like?
I don't think it's like a sea dog, right?
This
It's
one.
like we went with a sea. Oh man!
I have so many questions.
Sheesh.
Well,
I hope that continues to get
I did-
syndicated, but
Yeah.
across all channels.
Across all channels.
They
8 o'clock hour, you can't watch
Yeah,
it.
Dick Wolf really struck gold with that one.
all channels came together and they said, we got to do it for the otter.
Do it for the otter.
Oh, man, I love it. Well, thanks, buddy. That was really good.
Hey, thanks, man.
Do
Appreciate it.
you want to kick it back to us?
Yeah. Hey, back to you in the studio.
Oh, thanks, man.
Boy, what a time.
Wow, what a time indeed. We did, everybody. Congratulations. We're going to be back tomorrow with another thing. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.